Hi guys! Our guest today is the Kalanchoe plant. The genus Kalanchoe includes more than 100 species of plants, but only a few are regularly seen in cultivation. The most recognizable is Kalanchoe blossfeldiana, usually known simply as Kalanchoe. Native to Madagascar and closely related to the jade plant, Ku blossfeldiana is a succulent perennial with scallop-shaped leaves and umbels of flower clusters that extend above the foliage. It has an especially long bloom period when compared to other succulents. Kalanchoe thrives in arid environments and is a popular, easy-to-grow houseplant. Growers are drawn to Kalanchoe for its ease of care and interesting leaves, and for flowers that bloom repeatedly if the light exposure is properly controlled. Kalanchoe is slow-growing, on average taking between 2 and 5 years to reach mature size. Available in pretty shades of red, pink, yellow, and white, Kalanchoe can be easily found at many grocery stores, nurseries, and florists, especially around the holiday season. However, homeowners who have curious pets at home should be careful about where they keep their Kalanchoe. All parts of the plant are toxic to cats and dogs. If you're looking to grow a succulent with a little extra beauty, look no further than Kalanchoe. Like many succulents, Kalanchoe is a relatively hands-off species, preferring plenty of sunlight and well-draining soil. In warm weather zones, 10 to 12, where it is grown outdoors, Kalanchoe needs a well-drained, sandy soil. It thrives on limited water, provided it gets enough light. As an indoor plant, a cactus mix potting soil is best, and it does best with bright indirect light. Indoors or outdoors, Kalanchoe is well suited to a variety of temperatures, provided it is not touched by frost. Its bloom cycle is set in motion by a long stretch with lengthy periods of nighttime darkness in the wintertime. Beginning in spring, you'll be treated to bursts of colorful flowers that can last several weeks and can recur throughout most of the year, as long as you control the light exposure. Kalanchoe plants are relatively problem-free. You may notice an issue with spider mites, mealybugs, or powdery mildew, but even those problems are rare. The bloom cycle for this plant is set in motion by a period of roughly 6 weeks, where the plant experiences at least 14 hours of darkness each day. Roughly 4 months after this period, the plant will begin to bloom. It is possible to keep the plant blooming almost year-round if they get this winter darkness in order to reset the bloom cycle. Kalanchoe plants grown indoors need a lot of light to bloom, so they should be kept in a room with an abundance of bright, natural light. However, avoid placing them in direct sunlight, as it can scorch the leaves and reduce blooming. Outdoors, a Kalanchoe plant grows best in well-drained, sandy soil. Indoor plants should be potted in a blend that doesn't retain too much moisture, like a 50% potting soil and 50% cactus mix, or 60% peat moss and 40% perlite. To ensure proper drainage and avoid an overly moist environment, you can also plant your Kalanchoe in a clay pot, which can help wick excess water from the soil. If you have a habit of occasionally forgetting to water your plants, a Kalanchoe can be the perfect pick for you. This hardy plant does well with minimal water, requiring a complete saturation only every few weeks or so, and even less often during the winter months. Let the soil dry out completely in between waterings to help prevent root rot. Because the Kalanchoe is a succulent, its leaves are actually capable of storing water. Even if you're a few days late watering, the plant will be just fine. Our household environment is important to the Kalanchoe, though it's not as picky as other indoor houseplants. Generally, it will thrive at temperatures ranging from 55 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so, with the exception of protecting it from frost, you don't have to do much to create the proper indoor environment. Kalanchoe plants are not fussy about air moisture levels. Like most flowering plants, Kalanchoe benefits from fertilizer, though they are less hungry than many plants. Garden plants require little more than a single light feeding in the spring. Indoor plants should be fed with a well-balanced fertilizer blend once a month during the spring and summer months, but not during the winter. If flowering is sparse, switch to a fertilizer that is higher in phosphorus. Unlike plants that prefer to be pot-bound, Kalanchoe plants actually thrive best if repotted rather frequently, which encourages good drainage. For best results, repot your Kalanchoe annually each fall after the plant has bloomed. Doing so will encourage new growth and increase the plant's fullness. Go up 1 container size each time you repot. Make sure to use a well-draining pot. clay is a good choice, as the material is porous and will help keep the soil relatively dry. How to get Kalanchoe to bloom? If given the proper care and environment, Kalanchoe plants can bloom year-round indoors. The most essential component of a frequently flowering Kalanchoe plant is ample sunlight. For your Kalanchoe plant to bloom to its full potential, it should be located somewhere where it gets at least 6 to 8 hours of bright light each day. During the fall and winter, however, it's important that the plant experiences near total darkness for the other hours of the day. A full 14 hours of daily darkness, for a period of at least 6 weeks, is necessary for the plant to amass energy for further blooms. Deadheading the flowers once the blooms are spent is also a great way to prompt continual flowering. If you're struggling to help your plant achieve its flowering potential, look for a fertilizer blend that is high in phosphorus, which can help it produce added buds next time it begins to bloom. Common problems with Kalanchoe. Kalanchoe plants are extremely easy to grow, but problems can arise when they are not watered correctly or if they experience temperature extremes. Soft, damaged blooms and leaves. Plants that are touched by near-freezing temperatures will often experience damaged leaves or stunted blooms. For best performance, keep these plants at temperatures above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Wilting. Temperatures that are too high can cause leaves to wilt. Ideally, keep these plants below 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Drab or burned leaves. Proper light exposure is key to good-looking plants. Too little light and the leaves will lose the trademark glossy green. Too much direct sunlight, and you can expect burned leaves. Indoor Kalanchoes will do best in a location that receives a lot of bright indirect light, but not too much direct sunlight. Soft, fragile stems. A very common problem with Kalanchoe is overwatering or planting in a soil medium that holds water. Excessive water can easily cause root and stem rot with these plants. If you see this problem beginning, withhold water until the plant recovers. Failure to bloom. When a Kalanchoe fails to bloom, it is usually because it does not get the lengthy period of winter darkness that allows the plant to reset its bloom cycle. During the winter months, these plants need a 6-week period where they experience nighttime darkness lasting a full 14 hours each day. Without this reset period, the plants usually fail to bloom again.